What's good, everybody? Look, y'all know who I am, but I go by the name of Gabriel Ori for those who don't know, and this is my co-host, business partner.
What's up, y'all? JR here.
Listen, man, we are on another episode, another Friday of Ask a Producer. Say that with me. Say Ask a Producer. And look, we like to bring people on this show, as we always say, that's producing something. Now, we believe everybody's a producer of something, but we don't want to bring people that's producing negativity or things that's not going to impact or help your community. We always like bringing people on that's pushing that needle, that's impacting their community, that's making a better life for themselves. And tonight's no different. We have a very special guest in the building, but before we get there, JR, my man, how was your Friday, bro? How's your day today?
Pretty busy, man. A lot of stuff going on, man, but it is what it is. It keeps me moving, staying productive, and Friday's like the family life, man. After work.
Yeah, man. I feel like today I've been kind of pushing that needle. I feel like I've been getting it in and kind of doing the thing, man. So share this video, y'all. Share this video. You know how we like to do it. We like to ramble a little bit to give some time to share the video. Tag entrepreneurs, tag people that's on that grind time. I call it that shine time. Tag people that's just doing it, and doing it for their families, doing it for themselves, and doing it just to uplift, this world, because we live in a tumultuous time, man. And it's nothing better than seeing people, especially younger people, doing things that's positive, doing things that's going to help, rather than hurt, So JR, I'm gonna pass this introduction to you, brother.
Alley-oop.
Alley-oop.
But yeah, man, we got Mr. Rodney Starkes, man. I met Rodney at my church a couple of years back, man. Him and I chopped it up a little bit. We had some time to chop it up a little bit, just some brother talk. And he mentioned something to me, and it kind of threw an antenna up. He started talking about music and the people he's connected with and the stuff that he did. And I'm like, wait a minute, man. So you got some stuff going on here. And so ever since then, man, we started, chatting here and there, but understand we got family and things like that to do. So but he's from Somerville, and but I'm gonna stop there and I'm gonna just let him, introduce himself, and we get rolling. So Rodney, let's come on in, brother.
Yes. Nice introduction. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
What's up, Brother Starkes?
Hey, I appreciate it, Gabe. Hey, thank you for having me on the show. It's a complete honor. I'm very humble for this experience. It's been a long journey. I really do appreciate the introduction. I don't know how to come off after the introduction. It was very warm, very welcoming. But I made it to you guys' show, so that obviously means that I'm producing something. And especially for you guys to see it, it has to be something positive. So that's my mission, and I'm gonna keep it that way. And hopefully, that we can meet again, after this episode.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Sidebar. So listen, man, I just noticed something, Rodney. And before we get into the actual, what you producing and what's going on with you, your last name is Starkes, I see.
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, do you have family up north, like Connecticut, New York, just anywhere up north?
I do. Yeah.
Even like Texas area?
Yeah, I do.
Listen, I'm saying this. I'm pausing here because my sister, my youngest sister, is married to a Starkes. Now I don't know. Besides the Tony Starkes off the Marvel movie, I don't know any Starkes besides my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And he's originally from up north. He's from Connecticut area, Massachusetts, one of them areas. And so that's what sparked me. Like, hey man, maybe y'all related, man. Maybe we can talk offline and see how this family tree kind of
Yeah.
connects, man. But go ahead, Jr.
So yeah, man, that's what's up. So tell us about yourself. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself, man, and all the stuff that you do.
Okay. Well, absolutely. So, as mentioned, I'm Rodney Starkes. As currently, I'm the author of Zuri and the Magical Comb. It's a children's book that I released February the 1st. I was anticipating it being released on in February because of African American Month, or Black History Month. I'm sorry. Um, it's been my latest accomplishment. I've been working on that book since, I would say, probably December, November. It was very short. Most of the time was spent editing the book, but so far I got good feedback in regards to that. The story is related to, it's a fictional book, however, it is related to some real events. I have three daughters, and so this story really does relate to the family. And so my daughters were having difficulties with, I guess, girl issues, where hair issues, bullying, things of that nature. Kids making fun of their hair, and them not feeling confident. And so it just gave me the right to write that book. Um, so it resonated home, and prior to all the rest of the books I was working on, this was the only one I actually finished because, like I said, it resonates so close to home that I had to do it for the girls, and it spoke volumes because they may not be the only one that feel that way. Um, so that's my latest accomplishment. As mentioned, I do have a background in music as well. Been doing music since I was like 13 years old.
Hey, before we get there,
Okay, I'm sorry.
listen. So, no, you good, you good. I wanted to pause you right there.
Mhm.
So you're an author, you write.
Yes, of currently, yeah, yes, that is correct. So I just released my first ever book.
So
Wow.
this is your first book. I was going to ask you because you said this is my latest. So I was going to ask, do you have any other work before this one? But this is your first one.
Yeah, first ever book. There's other books that
Congratulations, bro.
yeah, thank you so much, thank you. There's other books that I kind of started writing, or wrote the outline for, but this one was the first one I actually put out to the world. So it's a good accomplishment.
Good. Do you see yourself doing this even in the future, writing more books, or this is something you just wanted to get off your chest for little girls?
Yeah, actually, Zuri and the Magical Comb. After I wrote this book, based on the storyline and also the feedback I received. But before the feedback, I already felt like it was a hit. I just felt like it really made sense to keep going with this series as well. So this is just the first of many. And eventually I want to move forward to a lot more things, far as like things on the screen or whatnot. However, right now, just focusing on Zuri series, so it's gonna be more to follow up with. But it probably will not happen again until probably later this year. I'm just trying to push this book first, and then after that, once doors open up, I definitely will open the Zuri series to even more adventures.
What
Oh, go ahead, Gabe.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
how long did it take you to get this off the ground?
I started writing this book, I would say like November-ish, December.
Oh wow,
But
okay,
yeah, and so it really didn't take me that long. The book is, it's a children's book, so I try to make it easy as possible.
yeah,
Um, if you check the book out, it's kind of, it's a rhyme scheme, so it's similar to like a Dr. Seuss book. And so with me having a background in music, that was like second nature. so so
yeah.
so the, so so the writing part was nothing. It was like a conversation with myself. However, it just really needed to really draw the line in between rhyming and really making real significance in children's lives.
What was the inspiration behind? You may have said it, but I want to isolate it for our platform. What was the inspiration for you to even, because this is your first book, what
Mhm.
inspired you to write in the first place?
So for this book, it had a lot to do with my children. My three girls. I have a son as well, but I see my daughters every day. They come home, and I see them every day, and I hear the stories whenever I'm working. I can hear them discussing different things that goes on at school. Rather it's bullying or someone making fun of their hair. Um, them feeling like they're unimportant or not good enough. And
Mhm.
so for that reason is why I wrote this book. Prior to this book, other ideas I had or have had has always been focused on, like, like black families and things of that nature, because I think the black family is an important factor. It's one of the most important factors of America. And so, I always try to figure out ways to boost that part. Rather I write it or I just post it on Facebook. I'm always trying to encourage us to stay whole and actually, don't lose ourselves and just stay strong, and things like this happens, but we can get through it.
Yeah. Now, I haven't purchased the book, but I am going to get it tonight when we get
Mhm.
off the show. So Zuri, is
Mhm.
she based off someone in your life, or that's something you just thought of a name just to, you know, a fiction? I know it's a fictional character, but was
Mhm.
it based off, a child that you know, or your children?
Yeah, my children. Yeah. So we're having three girls. I just told them a few days ago. I was like, I said I couldn't use any one of you names because y'all have been fighting over this this Zuri series. I do have a daughter. My oldest daughter, her name starts with a Z.
Oh wow.
And then I have a daughter that started with a B and an A. However, so I just made up a character. I just try to think of something. I don't even know where it came from.
Oh,
I believe I had a different character name at first, just as a filler, but I ended up going with Zuri. It just seemed like it went well. And I'm sure someone probably knows someone named that. I
yeah.
don't know of any Zuris, but it definitely is a name that sticks to the neighborhood.
So man, with the little cliche that's out there, I don't know who made it, but they say if you ever want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book.
Mhm.
So obviously your family, you're an author, you wrote a book, loves to read or embraces reading. How important is it for our community as African Americans? Do you feel it is to read? How important is that for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think reading is important. Rather you read or download an audio book, um, I think is very intricate to the community. However, over the years we have lost touch with reading, I think, as a whole. As we know, other people take advantage of reading, and a lot of secrets is hidden in the text. Growing up as a kid, I used to make fun of my cousin. He used to go to the library whenever I wanted to play basketball with him, and I was like, reading's for geeks. However, I'm sure he obtained a lot of information. Over the past few years, I found myself downloading audiobooks and really getting engaged with books that I missed out on, information I missed out on. So I would say probably about 2019 or so, I started reading books and listening to audiobooks at work, and really self-developing. And so I think books have a lot of great content for self-development. And, it's secrets in there that's not available on social media. A lot of things is from experts. Experts, they take time to win and lose. However, they do give you a good insight. I think we as a whole would be a lot further ahead if we read more,
Yeah.
instead of capturing other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But this book right here definitely is one of those things where I felt like the knowledge was in the book instead of a social platform or so, where a cover girl couldn't tell this girl or every young girl that they're beautiful, because they have, most of the time it's made up or cosmetically made. But this is for the natural and the ones that's on a more affordable budget, and I try to keep it organic as possible. And that was my whole reach, to keep it organic and make it affordable to where anybody could pick up this book and say, hey, um, this is cool. This book gave me confidence. And not only that, at the end of the book, it has a tutorial as well, teaching girls step by step of how to do these hairstyles that's mentioned in the book. So it's a 2 for 1.
Yeah, I heard you mention something about your cousin. I want to backtrack on that. Oftentimes, our upbringing, family life, oftentimes structure our journey. Sometimes we may venture off to doing things that we're not supposed to be doing. So tell us a little bit about your childhood, your upbringing. What's that all about? How's that? How
Yeah.
was that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. My childhood, so I grew up in a single parent household. My dad, he left. I didn't even know my parents got divorced, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Some people remember this stuff. I don't remember. Uh, I, I got a buddy of mine. He said he woke up and he was 6. I feel like I woke up and I was 4 years old. And I just remember my mother dropping me off. I don't even think I was 4 years old, to be honest with you. I think the church just accepted me because my mom needed to go back to work. And I remember this like yesterday. The church is still here. out there in Ridgeville, I believe, Sand Hill United Methodist Church. She dropped me off because I remember my cousin Brian was in the 4-year-old program, and they rejected me because I wasn't 4 years old. Brian is older than me. And then she took me to Sand Hill, and Sand Hill taught me a good bit about respect and all that stuff there. So even though I grew up in a single parent household, I still had great leadership around me. My grandfather, he passed. My mom and grandparents lived next door to each other. So I never met my grandparents. I met my grandfather. So the only male figure I really had around for the most part was my uncle, which was my mom brother. He was unmarried, but he still was there for me. He taught me a lot of basics, as far as using a hammer and things that I currently use. Not to say my dad wasn't there. My dad, he stopped by here and there. We have a great relationship now that my mom passed, but my mom, she did all she could, and I respected my mom. I think at a young age I was very wise and understood a good bit. But as the years progress, I understand more. As becoming an adult, I understand more that my mom really was going through something, but I just thought that she was just reserved or whatnot. And and being reserved sometimes it comes with a gift and a curse as well. Sometimes we try to step over that boundary a little bit, and test the water. But at the end of the day, I never wanted to hurt my mom. So a lot of things I did, I always thought back about my parents and my grandparents and how it would look on my family.
Wow.
So yeah. But as any other kid, not gonna say any kid, where I grew up at, near Summer High School, it's a busy area at the time being, so there's a lot of stuff going on there. However, once I found love for music saved my life and really kept me in the house since like 15, 16 years old, so it was one of the best things I discovered.
That's a good segue right there, man. Let's take a quick break. And when we get back from the break, we want to delve into your music, past, present, and future, and everything else you're going on. So look, y'all share this video. We'll be right back after this break. And we're back. So listen, man, we're here rocking with Mr. Rodney Starkes, right? He might be related. We might be related somehow, or he might be related to my brother-in-law. So we'll see. But listen, before the break, Rodney was really breaking down, about reading, about his penship. He's an author. He wrote his first book, called Zuri, right? Zuri.
Yeah, Zuri,
And it's for
Magical Cone.
kids. It's, right. And it's a children's book. And he dropped a lot of gems with that. But he said something right before we went to the break. He said, music saved my life. I like that. So he's a musician. He's a music producer. He's an engineer. But we're going to throw this first question to JR. JR, take it away, brother.
So what got you into music? I know you in the last segment you said you were, at 15 or 16, it kept you in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So what got you in that area?
Yeah, absolutely. In all transparency, 15, 16, I got sick, to be honest with you, I got sick. And so the only thing that got me up from being sick was music. I found some sort of passion in that right there, and it gave me something to look forward to. Um, and so that's how it really saved me. I didn't judge God or nothing like that. Some people look at God. I'm talking about from 15. I understood the assignment. The assignment was that he saved my life, and so not only did he save my life, I saved other people's lives too as well. So a lot of guys that was coming around was, there was kind of leading into the wrong direction, but my house was like their haven. So I appreciate my mom for that. My mom didn't care much about anything as long as we were safe. And I made joke of it a few years ago, that everyone that been around me is still alive. So I'm thankful for that. And so it really saved me. I taught a lot of guys how to write music. Once I understood it, because being in the house taught me, it gave me something. Like I said, it gave me something to do, and it forced me to learn this stuff because I had nothing else to do. Only thing I could do is go to school and come home and just be sad on myself. No, music really it gave me patience, it gave me focus, and I learned so much. We didn't have YouTube back then, so it was trial and error, but it was a good trial and error. And like I said, I understood it. I totally understood the assignment. Learn how to read bars, listen to different music, and like I said, teach other people how to do it as well. Learn engineering, learn how to record, things of that nature, and to where my penmanship really, I think it got pretty artsy. Not to blow my own whistle, but I really did get pretty good credit and notability in the local area as far as that.
Real nice, man. Look, it sounds like music was like therapy almost for you, and spending time with it, it kind of, I guess, piqued your interest more. It kind of made you feel alive, kind of, took you out of that maybe somber spirit that you was in and uplifted you. Now, you said that you start teaching people, how to do this and do that. Now, you're a music producer, right? You got into music production. What software do you like to use with your production?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm a Fruit Loops head. Always been a Fruit Loops head. So FL Studio always been my go-to. That was the first program I actually used to produce music. However, I've worked with Logic and Ableton and different platforms, but Fruit Loops just, it's that thing where it's like I left it, but I had to come back. But back then it was a lot more difficult. People used to make fun of me for using Fruit Loops, but I didn't use Fruit Loops, and I didn't use it for the sound. I actually use it as a drum machine back then, and I actually played my instruments. My sound live back then. So a lot of people say, your music sound live, and then they'd come over and see how I actually did it. So back then I actually did know how to play a good bit because if I messed up, there was no fixing that. I had to redo it. And then, and I record it and bring it back into Fruit Loops as if it was all synced together. But so Fruit Loops is my go-to.
That used to be me. I used to laugh at people that use Fruity Loops because back then I didn't know what Fruity Loops was. All I know was
the word.
Pro Tools.
The word Fruity Loops is just fruity. But nah, I get you.
Yeah, it used to be Fruity Loops and Magics.
Yeah, Magics.
I think those are the other two.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard of those two, I'm like, what is that? Why y'all using that? That's when I moved back home. But hey, whatever works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just recently came out with a project, man. Sometime last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
Tell us about that project.
Yeah. Last year I released Loyalty 2. It was actually the album I recorded this album probably before I met you, JR, to be honest with you. I just was sitting on the project for a while, and I actually wasn't going to release it because my life had changed since then. And so I ended up releasing it because I was supposed to release the album He Is, which was more in the field of where my heart currently is. And however, the mastering and things of that nature didn't work out too well. And then not only that, after listening to that project, I stopped liking it for some reason. I don't know why, but to answer your question, I did release Loyalty 2, but didn't promote it too much, but just put it out there just for streaming purposes.
Oh, gotcha. Were you signed to some company, or is this all independent?
This is all independent. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So what's some challenge that you face in the studio, or how do you troubleshoot them? And how do you troubleshoot them?
Yeah, so the most challenging thing is to feel like doing it. You know, um, like I said, I've been doing it for so long to where it's like, man, sometimes I don't feel like doing this anymore. And so, I have my seasons with music. It's one of those things where I just gotta. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. And so, just feeling like recording because I do it myself, or producing. Like I said, I do it myself for the most part. Just feeling like it. It could be a bit. For me, it could be a bit draining. However, that the end results is rewarding. It's like, wow. You ever listen to something like, man, I'm glad I didn't quit. But one thing I did learn over time as I got older, when I was young, I used to rush stuff. But one thing over the past few years, I don't do everything in one day. I don't do everything in one setting because I found out to me, sometimes sometimes my greatest idea may not be today. It might be tomorrow, or a few days later, I might hear it differently. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you and I, when we spoke, I think it was 2 Saturdays ago at the men's prayer, we were talking about that same thing, how the industry, they tell you, man, you got to grind, you got to stay up late all through the night to get your music out there, work hard in the studio, knowing well your body needs rest, man. How can you really put something out there when you're so drained and tired? Oftentimes you get fatigued, and so you got to reset. You know what I'm saying? So, and I like something you mentioned. You said something about grinding is pretty much when you grinding something, it's breaking it down.
Yeah.
So you just breaking your body down where you could continue grinding. So you got to reset and relax.
Yeah.
And and just like you said, a day at a time.
That's why I think I'm like that too. I took a season off of music, man. Like, and people that knows me, that's my bread and butter, man. That's my heart. I'm passionate about music, but for me, like, I had to step away. Like, all right, and then I think a part of what happened, because like you said, sometimes you probably get burned out, and you probably you're like, man, I don't feel like doing this because I know what the process is, and it does become a grind because, like, all right, I got to sit up and do this, and I got to mix this thing, I got to do, and so you get tired of that same old thing, and you need something else, or maybe another approach, or just step away from it for a little while. I think in my situation, the cameras took my attention, and it was good because it took my attention long enough where I could come back to the music and feel like I felt before. Like a little kid, like, man, I miss this. So it's good. It's good to have something that you can miss, that you can say, yo, I miss doing this. So yeah, man. I'm definitely there with you. Take a break, take the time you need, so when you get back to it, you all in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that you can't break from, and that's being a father.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right about that. There's no break on that.
No break whatsoever.
There's no break. What's the rewarding thing about being a father in your eyes?
Wow. That's a tough question. I think, but I think just the simplest thing to say is to see their smiles. The most rewarding thing. However, when I became a parent, I was a teenage parent, so I became a parent at 18. So yeah, 18. So I became a parent. So my days off, I had no days off for 18 years now. But the most rewarding thing is once again seeing they smile and just seeing that the things I teach them don't go in vain. I love that they love me more than I probably even love myself. And so that's a rewarding thing. And just knowing that love is always there no matter what. Rather I set boundaries or set up restrictions, and they gonna love me and respect me and still call me daddy after all that, in comparison to someone else. So I mean, not for someone else to call me daddy, but still you get a respect part. But yeah, so that's what they give me. They give me that type of love that's unmatched. So that's very rewarding, and they energize me every morning. I have a reason to get up and get it every morning. And just hopefully one day that they'll look back and understand that the stuff that I'm doing is not just for me to do, it's for them. I'm trying to give them some kind of rhythm. If I could give them a head start, I'm hoping that it give them a head start as well.
So, man, look, we are all, fathers here, and we know, we wear many hats. You are an author. You wrote a book. You're into music production. Engineering. And it's a lot of hats that a lot of males, fathers, wear. Where you said something about rhythm. I'm gonna m- put an alternative word there and say balance. How do you
Mm,
balance that
yeah,
type of flow, with wearing all of these different hats? I got to do this. I got to write. I got to have time to think. I got to make time for the kids.
Yeah.
How do you balance all of that in such a wide spectrum of things that you do?
yeah, that's a great question. You know, in all truth of the matter, that over the past year, going on a year and a half, I was able to work from home, so that helped a lot. That definitely helped a lot. And working remotely enables me to do a lot more than what I could have do before.
Mm,
So I'm home, so I'm able to prepare dinner. I'm able to do the things I need to do for them, and then I'm able to not have to travel far to get back to what I was doing either the night before or earlier that morning. So the balance is there, I believe. And if it's not, they will pull on me. They'll let me know, "Hey, Dad, I
that's
need you.
good.
Yeah.
I
And that
need you." Hmm.
that's very good to hear because especially in our community, we lack fathers.
Yeah.
And to have a father in the home and to see fathers doing what they're supposed to be doing is such a blessing to the kids and to us ourselves because we're doing what we're created to be to do once we have children. So I commend and applaud you, man. Um, the God in you, and I appreciate the things that you're doing, man. That's great. And plus, trying to be an entrepreneur and doing other things on the side too. That's good that you know how to balance all that stuff out. So, how do you approach discipline to your kids?
Yeah, discipline is a huge thing, I think. However, I am very lenient.
Mm,
And I mean that because I tell them all the time. I said respect is free, but disrespect will cost you. And so I have these talk with my kids every day. I'm a single dad, so I went through a divorce and whatnot. But so in the evening time, I usually take my youngest girls to their mother or whatnot. But I have those conversations with them every afternoon, just to see where they at.
mm,
See where their pivot foot is at. Um, my son, he's here, and my oldest daughter, she's here every night too as well. In the morning time, I talk to my son. I take him to school in the morning. I talk to him. We have conversations. Conversations I wished I had with my parents or even my dad or whoever. My oldest daughter, I had those same conversations with them as well. But once again, it's just one of those things where you ask about discipline. Um, I'm just very stern in my ways, and I try my best not to fold. Because if you fold, then everything else gonna fold. You
yeah,
the foundation.
Yeah.
yeah,
The rock is under you,
mm,
and so as the rock, I can't crumble. Because if I crumble a lot, they gonna eventually fall with me.
mm,
you know. And so I just try to keep my leadership stern as possible. But open communication, open door policy. I'm willing to listen to what they got to say. It's not how I grew up where I couldn't question anything. I respect you for asking those questions. However, I am going to point you in the right direction.
mm,
And if I don't know, because we live in this Google sense world where the parents kind of getting challenged a lot by Google, but I'm still not folding. Eventually it's gonna come back around because there's nothing new under the sun, and
yeah,
so eventually they do come back around, or give it some time, and
yeah,
and 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 the truth will be revealed itself. So that's normally how my parenting style is. That I know I'm not trying to lead them wrong, and that's my disciplinary style too, because it's gonna be one of those things where I told you so.
wow,
Definitely, man. So listen, man, we're definitely excited to have you on the platform. First time on, Ask a Producer, and sharing with us and sharing with our audience, how can you be reached? How can people they want to get your book, how can you be reached?
Okay. Yeah. So Zuri and the Magical Comb is available on Amazon.com. So you can search in Zuri and the Magical Comb on Amazon. The book's also available on Zuri and the Magical Comb.com. So I have the website as well where you can purchase the book. And I'm uploading merch very soon too as well. So still working on that. But you can contact me on the website. I have a contact information where if you section where if you have a question, you can send me the question and I'll be with you as soon as possible. There's things on the website as far as school visits or just any kind of hosting or bulk orders. It's all on the website. But I'm reachable also. You can find my personal Facebook. As everyone know, I use my name itself, Rodney Starkes. So you can find me on Facebook as well as Rodney Starkes, Starkes on Facebook.
Dope. JR, any last words?
Well, man, thank you so much for joining us, bro. I really applaud you for everything that you're doing. I pray that you continue to be successful at everything that you do. And hopefully this is not the last time you'll be on the show. And let's keep it moving, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. So listen, y'all, this has been Ask a Producer. Listen, follow Rodney on his platforms. Get his book. It's going to bless your kid's life. And, he's a producer as well. Music producer, engineer. Just, look him up. Get in touch, and see what he got going on. So listen, my name is Gabriel Ori. This is my co-host, business partner,
JR.
And listen, this has been Ask a Producer. Yeah.